I could listen to Alberta all the time. Yeah, I do have an opponent, so anything you can do, like take one of my yard signs along and put it up, much appreciated. And really appreciate everything you do. You know, there's a lot of people that talk a good game, but the people who get out there and walk the walk and do the work and do the legwork and do the phone work, your efforts are so very much appreciated, because you do take time that you could be doing something else, and you spend it working for ideals and working for the people that you believe in, and we believe in you. So your efforts are much appreciated. You know, as far as doing doors, Alberta is absolutely right. It's actually fun. I enjoy doing doors infinitely more than talking to people on the phone. The worst that ever happens to me doing doors is a little dog may run out at me, but just have a watch, for that. On rare occasions, I'll run into a crabby, cranky Democrat. And you know what? You just say, fine, and you move on. Most people are very nice, and some of those same people who would hang up the phone on you or swear at you on the phone, they don't have the nerve to do it to your face. The thing I enjoy the most about doors is occasionally somebody really wants to engage you and talk, and this is an opportunity. The more knowledge you have, the more facts that you're armed with when you go to the doors, the better time you're going to have doing it. And, we've got the ideas, and we do have the facts on our side. The session before this last session in Wisconsin, the Democrats controlled everything. After President Obama was elected in 2008, they had the governorship in Wisconsin, they had majorities in the Senate and the Assembly. And you know what? We didn't have to scream and yell and bring in people from out of state. We put our ideas out there, and we won. And that's one of the reasons that the state flipped in 2010 with Governor Walker and the majorities in the Senate and the Assembly. Of course, going forward, we're not done yet. We've still got a lot of good ideas, like, for example, an end to same-day registration.
Right.
A lot of good ideas. We've still got a mining bill we want to get passed, and that bill that didn't quite make it last time, a very good, solid bill. It doesn't have to be altered at all. We just have to get it passed. So we're not done yet. Moving forward, we want to get that majority back in the state Senate. Obviously, we got Governor Walker with just fantastic leadership at the top. We want to keep a strong majority in the Assembly. And of course, at the national level, getting Governor Thompson as our next senator from Wisconsin and electing Mitt Romney and Paul Ryan at the top of the national ticket, we can put our ideas into action. Moving forward, we can make this country a better country. We can make this state a better state. And that's what's at stake. And so, again, everything you do, so very much appreciated. And I'm going to be I'll be out there on the doors for the next 2 months and doing everything I can, both for our national ticket and for our state ticket and for my own race. So it's great knowing that you're there with us. Thanks a lot.
Now Dan Knodl. Dan Knodl is representing part of the North Shore now, part of Glendale, Brown Deer, parts of Mequon, and so we need to support him as well. He's got a well-funded opponent. So let's hear from Dan.
Thank you, Lauren. Hello to all of you. And I am new to you, but I've had Menominee Falls and Germantown and Richfield was my original district. I still have Germantown, but not much else that way. It's moved east here to Mequon, Brown Deer, River Hills, and Glendale. As we just heard, Brown Deer and Glendale both were 60% for Barrett versus Walker in the recall. So there's a couple challenging areas there that we need to turn around. And I do have an opponent there. I got a call from Glendale yesterday that my opponent is out on the doors as well. So he's working hard and he's raising funds and is going to make it a competitive situation. I will win it, but it'll be competitive. So. I've had great mentors. Look at Jim on, and Alberta sets the gold standard when it comes to doors. I I tried to keep up with her during her recall, but she was moving, and she got stronger as she went on. And once you get started on those doors, you actually pick up momentum. And so I encourage you to do it. I'm going to go to Germantown today with some volunteers from that Victory Center that we're going out and doing doors there today. I'd be thrilled to come here, and then maybe Evan can set up some volunteers that I can go out with in the Glendale area or other parts of my district there. I want to tell you about Evan. Evan interned for me as well in Madison, and he was working at the Germantown Victory Center in the past with a bank of, did you get up to 6 phones or 5?
I got up to 8 at the end.
8! Well, I couldn't keep up with that either. I mean, this guy had all those phones in front of him, and they were all humming at the same time. Amazing work ethic that you have here with this individual. So I think you'll be in very good hands with Evan. And since he interned for me, I know he's committed to me, and he's going to give me some help as well. Just as I was in West Bend this morning, thank you for your patience. I think you might have waited for me here with the Republican women of Washington County. We're having a breakfast. And there, I can see the motivation here in the eyes, and the enthusiasm is here, and it was the same there. And they told a couple stories from the ones that were at convention there, and how they were approached by everybody in there, being from Wisconsin. Wisconsin there is the gold standard now in the country for what we've accomplished here in the last 2 years. And so we have 59 days. You see the scorecard up here. Let's continue to be that gold standard, to set the pace for the country, and be that state that turns the presidency over to our Republican. We can do that here in Wisconsin. We've done that for the last 2 years. We need to get this stretch run. You know, it's been challenging, it's fatiguing, but here we are, 59 days to finish the deal. Let's put a little frosting on the cake, make Wisconsin red, and November 6th we get to eat our cake too.
Yep. It's all right. And I do want to let everyone know, I think most of us in the North Shore, from wherever you're from, we're not in the 5th district anymore. We're in the 4th district, which means Gwen Moore is our congresswoman. So, I don't know.
So let's change that too.
Let's change that. Dan Sebring is here. He's the candidate. He ran 2 years ago, and he's given it another shot, and we all need to get very much behind him. So let's hear from Dan.
Your sign's on our lawn.
All right, thank you, thank you. Okay, one of the things that I'm asked a lot is, where do you come from? I am currently the vice chairman of the Republican Party Milwaukee County's Milwaukee South branch. I own an auto repair shop on Milwaukee South Side. I've been in business for 20 years. I'm a Navy veteran. I served on the Chief of Naval Operations Intelligence Staff at the Pentagon during the Reagan administration. And like Lori said, in 2010 I ran against Gwen Moore, and I got 30% of the vote in that general election, which is better than anybody's ever done against Gwen Moore in any election for any office she's ever held. Now, no one's ever run against her twice, or there's never been a balloted candidate that had run against her twice. Technically, this is my 3rd run. I was a write-in candidate in 2008. I went to vote against her in the primary election in 2008, and I found she was running unopposed. And that was a little bit more than I could stand. I couldn't see her getting a free ride, so I Googled how to become a write-in candidate, and by the end of the day, on primary day in 2008, I was a registered write-in candidate for the general election. In that general election, I got 467 votes in a 6-week write-in campaign that nobody knew anything about. I found that to be pretty amazing, which is why I threw my hat in the ring shortly after Thanksgiving in 2008 for the 2010 election cycle. She saw me coming from a long way off, and frankly, she doesn't really quite know what to do about it. One of the other things that I'm asked frequently is, how do you expect to win in such a heavily Democrat district? Now, redistricting has changed the district. Like Lori said, we picked up some of the North Shore. My district now encompasses the entire city of Milwaukee, West Milwaukee, South Milwaukee, St. Francis, Cudahy, Glendale, Shorewood, Whitefish Bay, Fox Point, Bayside, and Brown Deer. Now, what that does is it changes the district from a 22% Democrat advantage to a 10% Democrat advantage. There's a whole lot of new blood in the district, and there's a whole lot of new independent voters in the district as well, and a lot of them aren't digging what's going on in Washington, D.C. right now. Now, we took it a step further and looked past the end of our nose. We went back over the last 4 presidential elections. Now, there's over 520,000 registered voters in the 4th Congressional District. Over the course of the last 4 presidential elections, over 313,000 of them at some point voted Republican. So the votes are out there. What we have to do is motivate those people to get out and vote. Now, I've got 3 big names helping me out in that respect. And their names are Mitt Romney, Paul Ryan, and Tommy Thompson. The base is so energized right now that I anticipate a huge Republican turnout, particularly in Wisconsin, particularly in southeastern Wisconsin. One of the other things that's going to be playing big in our district is I've gotten word from the pastors at Northside churches that they're upset with President Obama's position on gay marriage. They are telling their parishioners, their congregations, to stay home on election day. That is going to play big for the Republicans in the 4th District as well. I have been busier than I've ever been, you know, in terms of being in campaign mode. A lot of us have been in campaign mode for the last 2 years. I've been in campaign mode for 6. I've lost 34 pounds out knocking on doors. So it's coming along. I'm very, very optimistic. If we're ever going to get a Republican in the 4th Congressional District, it's going to be this year, and I need everyone's help. Along with being a large district and a new district, it's also one of the poorest districts in the country. My campaign funds are running a little low right now. And one of the things that we're asking is everyone who's ever said Gwen Moore has got to go, to please send me a contribution of at least $5. You know, it doesn't sound like much, but if I get 10,000 people sending me $5,000, or $5 rather, I've got a lot of money on my hands. We have a very robust plan for radio and television advertising, but we lack the funds right now. We're bearing down on it, but we still need about another $25,000. So that's what we're up to in my campaign. I'm very optimistic. Now, I want to echo everyone else's sentiments as far as all of you being here today. The volunteers that are here making the phone calls and out knocking on doors are what makes it happen for people like me and Alberta and Jim and Dan Knodl and anyone that runs for public office. We just cannot accomplish it without people like you who are here making phone calls and knocking on doors and speaking on our behalf to the people in your neighborhoods or wherever you have to be. And I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for coming out today and every day that you do it, because I can't do it by myself. And I truly appreciate the fact that you're here. Thank you.
All of you, and I think we all know we're one of 11 battleground states. So, I mean, I hope Mitt Romney and Paul Ryan will spend a lot of time here, but we have the momentum to keep it going with our recalls in the last couple of years. Everyone's looking to us to lead the country. We have been for the last couple of years, and the last time Wisconsin voted red was in 1984 for Ronald Reagan, but this is our best shot to vote red again. So let's get it done, and thank you all so much.